If you like discovery and rabbit holes and mystery, it has an allure to it. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it. Especially if you're a lover of knowledge, you want to learn something that you were always told to stay away from. It can be alluring.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I've never really been bought into like exploring demons. I feel like you can see things from
Yeah.
afar and know that's not to be fucked with.
Well, it's not gonna come at you like that. It's gonna come at you not like a goblin, like you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just my ignorant opinion. I think that it'll come at you looking like something you really rock with.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I like this,
Yeah.
but it's got that other layer
Yeah.
underneath it,
Yeah.
and without discernment, you can end up rocking with something that's real wild spiritually and not even know it.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're right. I don't think that's uneducated at all, my brother. I think they hit it on the head, honestly. Welcome, Iggy's Loudmouth podcast. It is Iggy. I am here on the podcast, and this is a very special episode, to be honest, man. This is a long time coming. Honored to have him on, and a lot to talk about. We already kind of been talking before, but a lot to talk about with this man right here. And I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and then we'll get going.
Hey everybody, I'm GenesisTheGreykid. Honored to be here.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for coming on. So normally I start out, make sure y'all subscribe, like, comment, share, and spread the word. This is episode, I think 7 or 8 of the YouTube series I started. I don't know, Janice, if you're aware, but I've had the podcast for quite a few years. But this is a
I am
new,
aware. I am aware.
Thank you, brother.
Oh,
So I've had it for some time, but this is the first time I've done this kind of thing, and we were talking about just timing of this discussion, this interview, or whatever it is, and I think it's important that timing is now because of that. Because I think uh, we've reached a certain point in both of our careers, I would say, that this kind of sit down is more, I think it's valuable. So thank you for sitting on. So you said, well, I'll let you introduce yourself as far as like background. You said I seen in an interview, and as we were speaking before, you were born in Chattanooga, but you weren't raised here, right?
yeah. I was born here, and I was here for like 3 days.
3 days.
3 days,
Yeah.
and then we left. My pops was in the military, so yeah, we were here. Then we left, and every year we would go to a new city.
Yeah, every year on the dot.
Sometimes they were like in Kentucky, we stayed for like 2.5 years. Yeah. Virginia Beach, we stayed like 3.5 years, 4 years. And then we went back. So there were places we would go back to, but usually every year and a half, we'd move.
Yeah. I was in the military for
Oh, you was in the military?
I was in the Air Force.
Yeah, they tried to get me in, but like
I was not. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me.
I'm more of a poetry.
Yeah, see, I mean? And that was always at heart for me. I think, for me, I remember I was not going. My dad was in the Army, so he was a medic, and then he became a police officer. He came back, was a medic for a little bit, became a police officer, but he always about the military.
My pops too. If you was in, you want everybody to get in. But I get it. Like it did a lot of things to change his life for the positive. So
yeah, for sure.
I think he just wanted me to have that same thing.
Yeah.
So he's running up like, he's a military guy, and I'm like, I picked like 4 flowers. I got like a book of poems.
Yeah.
I'm like sketching like a hummingbird, like off in the distance.
Yeah, for real.
He talking about shooting stuff.
Yeah,
like, what are you talking
Pops,
about? Like,
Pops, do you see me?
Take it easy.
We're not the same.
But it'd be like that. He only wanted me to cultivate, I think, the discipline that he got. Him.
Yeah.
And I was able to get it just through him being an old school pops,
For sure. Yeah, I think in my situation, my dad was pushing it, and then, I went to college for a little bit. It didn't really work out, so I came back home, and I was talking about transferring and all that. And that was his opportunity to start pushing it, right? Because I didn't want to stay at home, and he didn't want me to stay at home, obviously. Which is another discussion we should have about Black families. But anyways,
Oh, was it like you got to get out?
yeah. It's always been like that. It wasn't like it's always been like when you're 18, I've heard that as growing up. When you're 18, you got to, that's kind of always been an overhang. And I don't think that's foreign to many.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Yeah. But so I come back from college. I'm 19, 20, still trying to figure it out. I think I only been back for like 3 or 4 months. But I was working and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But my dad was like, I'm going to take you down there. So he took me down there a couple of times. I think the recruiter could tell I wasn't fucking with it right. So one time my dad like dropped me off. He had to leave. I guess he got a call or something, so he had to leave. And I was there for about 30 minutes or an hour. And the recruiter was like, listen, I can tell you don't want to, like, this ain't really what you want to do. He was like, I'm not in the business of bringing in people that don't want to do stuff that they don't want to do. So if you are just here because your dad's pushing you to do it, when he get back, we can tell him, we don't have the space right now. He's got to wait a few months.
Oh, he was cool.
Yeah. So then, but he was like, but listen, he was like, I'll tell you this. I'll give you all the positive and the negatives, and then you can leave with it and make your decision. I think it's only fair you actually hear me out. You know what I mean? So he talked to me he's a white dude, a younger white dude. He talked to me for that whole time. So I went home and I was just like, he talked about the traveling and like the opportunity to go to school and kind of.
The traveling was a kind of a.
Yeah, so
that almost got me.
Yeah,
because I like traveling. So when they're like, yo, you can go anywhere.
Yeah. You still within a window though. You travel, but you have no. Yeah, there's certain things you have to do. With Navy, you travel a lot.
So that's what I would have did. Because my pops was Navy.
Navy
so
travels
it was like, yo, you want to be Hawaii?
Yeah, because you're always on the coast.
You was picking vibey places. So I'm thinking, yo. And I did pretty good on the, was it the ASVAB?
It's the, is it ASVAB? Yeah, it's the ASVAB.
Yeah, so.
Yep. I did. That's where they got me because I did high on it.
And they try to boo, they try to gas you. They be like, yo, man, are you a genius?
Yeah,
like,
I'm smart. I'm black. They need the numbers. Like, it's all there. It's all. And that's what I heard before he set me down. That's what I was hearing, along with my dad being so pushy since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was just like, bro, I ain't trying. And there were some things I gained. There were some things. I'm glad I got the experience. I'll say that. If I could go back and do it again, I can't change anything because.
Oh, you would have went in if you could go back?
I have to. My son came out of that. You know what I mean? Like so I was stationed in Germany.
So look, let me ask you this. Yeah. Do you feel like if you didn't have your child under the situations you had your child, do you think your child wouldn't be here if you had your child?
I don't know if he would have.
Like, would it still be your child's magic inside of him, or would it be a different?
I don't think you can get the same magic in my situation. I don't know. I think in general, though, I don't think you can get the same of that because you have two people going into that. That's like, so like.
Nah, so you get with the same lady, but it's not in the military.
There's no way. There's no way. I'm looking at the camera. There's no way Iggy would have ever been to Germany without the military. I promise you that.
I got you. So if y'all would have met in New York on a subway,
maybe,
and it got,
that would have just been a different destiny. Yeah.
Do you think it would have been the same child? Like it's a lineup, or is it like?
I think everything had to line up. I don't think it's random. I think it had to line up that way. I don't think I would have met her. I don't think she would have met me, and I don't think I would have met her in those situations.
Y'all still cool?
Yeah, so we're divorced now. We were married. We're divorced now. So we co-parented, but we
congratulations
good, man.
on that.
We good, bro.
No, congratulations on your divorce.
Thank you, bro.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, it's a new step for me. It's the first time I've been.
I went through one, and everyone was telling me, "Man, I'm so sorry," and I was like, "Oh, like if it was a good thing, we would still be together.
We would still be together.
We're not together for a reason.
Yeah,
we wasn't aligned.
It's always awkward to answer that. I get that.
So you gotta be like, "Oh man, appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you."
We've been pretty private, so most of the time people are finding out when they see me out. Or like, they listening to the pod. I don't make it like a public thing, you know what I'm saying? Now, I think if you're paying attention, it's obvious.
Yeah.
But, so like, there's some people that are still finding out, right? So like, they'll come up and be, this is about 2 years.
So y'all kind of fresh.
Yeah, we're still fresh. Yeah, but but we've also been, you know, we've
Congratulations to
established.
her too, if she's listening to
Yeah,
this. You know,
she
y'all get to start fresh.
yeah,
You know, do
I
your
think she's
thing.
definitely embracing that and enjoying that. I
Yeah.
think the co-parenting thing, what's weird is like there's always been like an underlying feeling of like I always felt that was more of our space anyways, you know what I'm saying, as far because I think this is what I said about Zion.
She German, like
she's Italian, actually, Sicilian. She's from her parents immigrated to Germany.
Italian, y'all man German. Okay.
That's what I mean. Like there's a lot of like I don't know. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I had no envision of me going to Germany.
Right.
She had no envision of meeting anybody from.
Yeah, that is kind of would be hard to do.
Yeah, again. So I can't change anything about that. As much as like there's some learning lessons that I wish I wouldn't have to learn within the military, right? There's things that came out of that I cannot change. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's just within my purpose. So and with my son, we both have like things we pour into him that are I can see are making him prosper. You know what I'm saying? Like even within like the separation and the divorce, we still like pour into him with a lot of love,
it's
right?
a beautiful thing.
So
It's a beautiful thing.
I don't think if I remove her and have a child with somebody else, that same energy that she pours into him now might not be the same.
Right.
Say I get into a situation with that woman and we break up and it's not, I mean, we've had our issues, but it's not as cordial. It's not as, there's some more bitterness there. There's some more like, so I have to face that and that's poured into the child, right?
Right.
So I have to accept those things. I mean, that's, you know, I can't see if we didn't do that and I meet her in New York. That's not even, I don't know how that would have happened, right? So like, I can only see what actually did happen.
Yeah, I think silly things. So
no, it's good you asked that. Time is a crazy thing, right? So I believe like what you're saying. There are alternate. I believe that. That's fair to ask. I'll just say that.
No, I mean I don't know if it is or it isn't. I mean half the stuff I think I don't necessarily believe.
Yeah,
I just kind of I give it space
to live.
To be. And then in 10 years, I might be like, you know what, I really do believe, blah, 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 you know, or maybe not. I just leave, anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm the same way. That's kind of why I have this. Like, I say a lot of things I don't believe. It causes some things, but.
I mean, and what I mean by that is there may be a level of belief in everything that's in me, but I'm still understanding what it is I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So, like, I used to think money was real.
Yeah.
And then once I started making a little bit and started getting around different, people that learn how to kind of live life for a living and monetize their passion, then I had to unlearn what I thought I knew. And I had to see, oh, money isn't real. Okay. I thought this was real. And then you go through and you, oh, okay. Santa Claus ain't, he ain't dropping gifts down the chimney. It's my parents doing it.
Yeah.
Once you start to, and that's so over time, I've just slowly started to understand, just because I feel it, it doesn't mean it's there. Just because I believe that this white gentleman with a beard is bringing gifts to me at Christmas, and how that has something to do with Jesus somehow.
Yeah, what
you know what I mean? Like I there was a point in time where that was the truth.
Absolutely.
And I was told by people I trusted that this was what it was.
Yeah.
So now, even if it's coming from people wearing lab coats and they say, oh, this and this and this and this, I'm always like, yeah, but y'all don't know. Maybe that's what it is, but maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
I value experts.
Yeah, me too.
But I know we can be wrong.
We can be wrong, absolutely.
But I got a lot of science homies I kick it with, and
they argue you down.
Oh, no, they don't. They get it because, I mean, every year they books is getting updated with more information. Like, man, we thought it was this. But it's this. We thought quasars operate like this. And then we go further in space and it's like this. And, man, we thought this. It's crazy. Yeah. We might know 4% of what's going on.
I was just talking about that with somebody last night.
Now.
I was just talking about that last night. Like,
so I can believe it, but still leave space
for it to live.
For me to be wrong. For me, like, maybe I don't know. I think I'm right, but maybe I'm wrong. Kind of, you know?
Yeah. That's cool that you. I have a nature of always wanting to be right. Now I've learned over time. I've learned over time I can accept when I'm wrong, but by nature I can be stubborn, and a lot of my homies give me a shit about that. But it's cool for you to say, like, maybe I could be wrong. A lot of times I do that. Like, I just, I'm like, I could be wrong. They just think about it. It's not necessarily right or wrong. Just think about it. Think about the possibility.
A good partner, they'll let you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah, you right about that.
Oh yeah.
So how did you get to fine arts? And I've heard from the writing. Now we'll get into words, because when you speak about words, I think that's probably one of the things me and you probably connect on the most that I want to talk about, because words for me are like powerful. Like, once you say things, it's out in space. So that gives it.
I'm curious, who your favorite rapper? Just go to the cameraman. who your favorite rapper?
Favorite rapper?
Right now?
Who's your favorite right now?
Right now.
Right now.
That makes it more interesting of a question, because I feel like it's kind of more difficult right now.
Right.
I like Lil Russell. I like Lil Russell.
Mine right now is probably Larry June right now.
I was talking about June yesterday. It was a Bay homie. So our chef from San Francisco.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for the new restaurant.
Yeah.
Shout out to Malik. Yeah. I should have brought Malik, because he's in town.
Man,
yeah,
that's cool.
Him and his lady are moving in town, and Malik is he's a beast. He's a beast. Yeah. I should have, man, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah, you good, bro. You good, bro.
He lead them all, too.
Yeah.
But he'll be back in a week. But yeah.
Who's yours?
Right now, I asked y'all because I don't know.
You don't?
I think, I don't know.
It's tough. I mean, over amount of time, my favorite all time is probably Kendrick. Mm-hmm. But I've got like Currency in my favorite of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like J. Cole. Cool. So yeah, Dom Kennedy. I'm a hip hop head. I got a lot of people that I like. You know what I'm saying? So like
Dom, I feel like Dom, and if Dom comes across this, it's all love, my brother.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like, it's all love.
We got love for you here. Trust me, you got me through some shit,
Dom
brother.
had a window where I feel like he could have signed any type of situation he wanted. Yeah. But I think, and again, this is that ignorant opinion. I think that he might have kind of overplayed it. This is gonna sound like it's gonna sound crazy. If it don't feel positive, I don't even really want to say it.
Yeah.
I just think it was a moment that he
missed the window.
He was doing his thing, and I feel like he might have. He was, I don't know.
He overplayed his hand.
Something kind of went sideways, and the labels, people, even the independent lane, like nobody really is.
Yeah, they're not on them like
they're not on them like they was, and I was rocking with Dom.
Me too. I still am. I think the last project he dropped by itself, he just dropped one with T-Fly, but the West Side for Love 3. It's fire. Man, I played that crazy.
I need to check it out.
It's got some because always the West Side with Love's always like that's the one. So
I need to check it out.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, I think words like that's why I say certain like Kendrick. You know what I mean? They use their words purposefully, and I think when you say that when you write your poems or you're using it in your art, that's powerful. So I wanted to give you that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So shout out to Marley Fox in Tucson, by the way.
Hell yeah.
They're my guys. I got to shout out
Chattanooga. Hell yeah. Shout out Marley. He might, I need to holler at him.
Holler at Marley.
Yeah, because he be keeping up with the podcast.
Shout out to Zay, too. Isaiah Rashad. That's
man.
The homie. He doing his thing.
Hell yeah, he doing his thing.
So Chattanooga, they're always my favorites. Yeah. But then to find other people in the industry is just kind of difficult.
Right now. That's true. That's true. You're right.
People doing their thing. I'm just
Somebody that you just play all the time, yeah.
Yeah, I play weird stuff. Y'all, like the music I listen to is kind of, it's off the beaten path. We just gonna have to sit in the car. I might have to play it. I can't pronounce these people's names, but it's beautiful.
Okay.
It's really beautiful.
Okay.
I really like what I'm receiving melodically from all of this. Yeah, I really dig it.
Hell yeah. So you started. Were you writing songs first, or were you writing poems first?
Yeah, I used to ghostwrite. I was.
Who'd you ghostwrite for?
Man, it's a lot of people. It'll surprise you. I can't tell you no names.
Damn.
They're not gonna invite me to the party if I'm telling on people. But
damn, I can't get one. I was thinking about it when you said. I was like, I wonder who he goes. It's probably gonna be surprising, bro.
But it started in Atlanta, the ghostwriting, and then I was working with a very talented A&R named Brooklyn Johnny. He worked with Cardi B and a lot of those people. He brought me up to Atlantic Records and introduced me to the guys there. And we tried to work out a situation, but what they wanted was more industry, and I wanted to be really like avant-garde, kind of abstract, like hip-hop, underground. I would have had to be something that I'm not.
Yeah. Good for you, bro. You deserve your flowers for that.
And I was always kind of drawing during that time, but I wasn't painting. I was just drawing.
Yeah.
And it was funny. The beginning years, I didn't want to call myself an artist because I felt like I hadn't put in enough hours yet.
Yeah.
Like time. I drew a lot, but I didn't paint. So one of the homies, Josiah, me and him was talking. I was like, I ain't gonna put fine artist. I'm gonna just. I remember like debating, like, no, not yet. It's still too new, you know. And but that's all the little stuff you
gotta deal with. Yeah, for sure, Yeah, because I mean, you should have been calling yourself one from the jump, the way it looks.
Yeah, well, real. I think we're all kind of artists in a way.
I believe
you
that.
know? Artist is almost like just saying human being. We're all human. Just different people make it easier to see the humanity within them. I think different people, those elements just come to the surface. It's this book I was reading, Pranino Philosophy. It's a beautiful book.
Yeah, thank you for that.
They was talking about water, and if you look at, this isn't water, this is wine. But if it was water, it's like, all right, if you look at water just with your naked eye, you can't tell it's made of hydrogen and oxygen. It's just clear.
Yeah.
The only way you can tell those elements are in there is if you put the water through these kind of just, what's the word, condition. When you put the water under a certain condition, those elements arise to the surface, and you know it's hydrogen and oxygen. It's the same with us, and this divine thing is in all of us. We all have this universe, this divine, this God thing in us. But I think that some people have to go to the desert for that to rise to the surface. Some people have to sit in a basement and paint for 50,000 hours.
Yeah.
Some people have to lose a wife.
Yeah.
Some people have to have a child. Some people have to get shot at and miss, you know, for it to
spark.
Yeah, but we all have it.
Yeah.
And it's just the experience, the human experience, and the things we go through. That's what raises those elements to the surface. And that's when you come across people and you hug them and they praying for you and you like, yeah, I know they pray is going somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that. Yeah, like
they feeling that.
They feeling it. Yeah.
Do you feel like that experience of turning down the contract was yours? Like that's what life was like. This is it. You know what I mean? Like I gotta really invest in something and get it going. Or like find that spark. Was that the spark? Not necessarily find it, but was that the spark that was like set you on the path of the purpose?
I think what set me on the path to purpose, I just think was it was something. It's something I can't explain. It wasn't me. I had like terrible aim and where I wanted to go. It was like, I think it was more or less I was always willing to listen, and I always surrounded myself with talented people.
Yeah.
And I love searching, so I would just ask God, like, man, just bless my efforts, bro.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I'm about to put all this energy and time
Yeah.
into like studying what I like, these things about life and the world and myself, and qualities that try to talk about you. Of course, you're bigger than all of this words. What can we say the trees haven't already, or the wind?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So we're all trying to, oh God, yeah, like we're putting words to it, but I get it. It's bigger than that. So it's like, I think it was like my parents, friends around me that saw me when I couldn't see myself, and the environment and God, like a lot of these things around
cultivated
me.
into it.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
It's rarely an individual thing. Like, yeah, man, I just stood up and that's rare. Like I haven't met anybody that's done it on their own.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I don't think so. You have to have something higher up.
Man, everybody. This self-made stuff, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. Nobody helped you?
Yeah, it's all you.
It seems suspicious.
Very suspicious.
Self-made.
It's remove of who we are, I think. Our spirit and soul is a piece of that, you know. So do you feel like your words or your art is more in your communication to the people is more resonated? Like, what do you think resonates with the people more, your words or your art?
Man, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. The words, it's like, it's more secret. The words you can carry off. You sit in the car, maybe you get the book. You sit in the car and you read a poem, and it hits you, and you cry. No one sees you cry. It's quiet. It's in the car. And you know, you fix yourself up, and they put the book away, and then they drive, and then they go home, and no one knows what even happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Excuse me. But when I have an exhibition and I have my art on the wall and a painting makes them cry, we all see it.
We all see that.
Yeah. We know this painting moves them.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I can say, wow, are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my grandfather, he used to, you know, boom, boom. And now we understand what's going on. It's more public.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to say, because the people that are impacted, they respond so differently. I don't do public readings. So if you're reading my work, you're doing it at the house in private.
Yeah.
But if I wrote something on a canvas with some artwork and you're reading it and you're at the show, then I know.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at that. I think, yeah, I mean, publicly showing that and privately showing that is different. I think I've had that, you know what I mean, where I've had like a private reading or a private moment, you know what I'm saying, where people don't necessarily see it. I think everybody has. And then I've had sometimes more than recently, public moments. But yeah, I think I never really thought of that, because
Can I ask you a challenging question?
What's up? Yeah.
If your heart was a nightclub and everybody that you loved in your life walked into your heart, what would be the first song that plays when they walk in?
That's a tough question.
Man, just follow your heart, man.
The first song that I think of is probably "I Wonder" by Kanye West.
That's beautiful.
That's the first one that comes.
Actually, that would be beautiful. They walking in and it's like, and I wonder, and the song playing. That'd be a vibe.
That's the first. That when you ask that, that's the one I went with.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Okay, that's cool. What about you?
It's tough, man. It's tough. Yeah, if I wanted anybody really, if I wanted somebody to walk in, that's probably what the vibe would be. But there's,
I can't get Montel Jordan out my head.
Nah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
This is how we do it.
Go. Everybody know they're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. They go for it.
That's all right. Check it out.
Appreciate that question. That's a tough. What about you? Have you thought about that?
It changes every day.
Yeah.
Today I think it would be Reverse Running by Tom York.
Okay.
It's on the Atoms for Peace album. And it's just a very thought-provoking. I mean, it's electronica, so to make you want to dance, but he's saying some really deep stuff.
Yeah.
And it's about just getting in your own way. Yeah. And I just think it'd be fun to dance, and then after the song go off, for us to all have a conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows? They might want to keep dancing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
You got to catch the vibe. That's to make them keep dancing. That's part of the environment of the nightclub.
Y'all got a favorite word that y'all saying right now? I like hang on. I like keep words longer than I should. Like when everyone else throws it away, I get excited. Like, I'm like, all right, yes, niggas ain't using this no more. Yeah. When too many people start using them, I'm like, man, y'all messing up my word, man.
Let me think. I do still say, I mean, I guess cap is still around. I definitely would call that.
Cap is definitely still around.
Trying to think if there's one I'm holding on to.
I don't think dope is ever gonna die.
No, it ain't.
Dope has been around since the 80s. Yeah, I don't think it's ever going nowhere.
Do you think we picked up Ritz? Do you say Ritz?
Riz?
Yeah, Riz.
Yeah,
is it Ritz or Riz?
It's Riz.
My bad, I'm fucking it up. See, I'm old.
Yeah. Nah, I say Riz. I said it like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
We're doing this project with a lot of jazz artists.
Yeah.
We're working with Dave Chappelle manager, me and my homie Chris.
Yeah.
And Chris is going to be asking them questions, like big, heavy questions. And so Robert Glasper will be there, and like Chris will be here asking them questions. And I'll have my back facing them. And let's say we're on like a boat in the Hudson River or something wild. And I'll be painting what I feel is coming from the conversation, not actually what it looks like.
But what you're hearing.
Yeah, what it feels like an inner portrait.
Yeah,
you know?
Okay.
And so I'm really excited
That's
about
dope as hell.
And after we get all the jazz artists, then we're gonna come to Chappelle. Like, bro, you gotta cap it out. Like, let's round this out and let's do it and let's finish it. Because the questions we asking are worthwhile questions.
Are some of the questions like what you asking me?
Oh yeah. But there are also questions about like bigger issues with America.
Yeah, for sure.
And like the wars that are happening and the famine and pestilence and disease everywhere, you know, just a lot of big topics. Chris says he has this beautiful line he says that I've noticed in jazz artists. Jazz is, or improvisation, I'm not saying that right.
Improvisation? Yeah, I think that's right.
But it's what you have before you have time to get your lie together. You know? So that's how Chris summarizes jazz.
Yeah.
And that's why we want to talk to jazz artists.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to improv, to creating off of what's here, that us throwing them these bewildering questions that they can give us some truth that if we sat down with Obama, I love Obama. He not gonna tell us what it is. He ain't gonna say, bro, look, man, it's a comic. We got 50 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gonna rock with it. Not because he has the posture and be political, but these jazz artists, nah, they're it's like muscle memory. Like they playing with whatever we throw down.
Yeah.
They don't know what key we in. So if we like, yo, what you think about Hamas and blah, 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 they gotta play off of that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate them because in this cancel culture society we're in right now, it's like they juggling knobs, just saying what they feel. They might like, yo, I think so and so is wilding, or man, I think this group is wild. I think this or that. They're like, man, it's risky just
to say anything.
Just saying what you believe now is crazy.
Yeah, I definitely deal with that, as you probably would guess.
Have you gotten in trouble with it?
Not like super in trouble, but I've gotten banned off Facebook and like I've lost like a month off Facebook before, and like I've talked about the vaccine. There was a space for like I talked. Well, the reason why is because I felt like I didn't lose anything from that, and it's funny is because it kind of like deciphered where I would go. Now, will I do that now? Probably not, just because I don't want to put energy toward it. You know what I mean? That was kind of when I was, we weren't really doing anything as far as visually and getting together at that time.
Yeah.
More so than not. So, but I mean, I remember I had people like coming at me. I remember I said I wasn't going to vote. And then he was going off on me about that. I'm like, listen, man, this is why I feel like this. You know what I mean? So like the controversy was one thing, but part of the reason why I did that is because I feel like, I don't know, man. We all are human, and like I said, speech is very important. Now there are boundaries. I will say that.
Right.
But I think if you start having people fear to say, truth, you know what I'm saying, whether it be their truth or whether it be the truth, if they have fear to say that, I think there should be some space to allow that. It's even going into comedy. This is where I really got a problem with it when it's getting into comedy.
That got real weird.
I'm like, listen, man.
Like the joke.
Comedy is the one realm where I think it's got to be.
It's got to be free. It's got to be free.
Otherwise, it's over with. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
got to be free.
I mean, come on.
You got to be able to joke everybody.
Yes, that's the part of
everybody got to be okay with the smoke.
But getting hit. You ain't getting mad when comedians, when we were making fun of each other all these years, we were making fun of everybody else these years. The minute somebody, now in this world, is somebody that particularly don't like the joke, well, get them off the stage. We're not going to watch none of their work. Get them out. Like, bro, you just didn't like the joke.
I would love to be a comedian for a week just to see what they go through.
It's a tough job,
man. It's got to be.
That's a tough job.
It's got to be. Like, it ain't, like, with instruments, I played some instruments. Mm-hmm. You got the band backing you up. So even if you're a little off, they can catch you and you can still find the pocket. Yeah. Like everybody's in football, you miss a play, you got somebody to cover you. Basketball, same thing.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Yeah, it's just you and the mic.
It's just you. And everyone shows up, make me laugh.
Everybody's looking at you.
And now they saying this, make me laugh, but don't offend me.
But don't offend me.
What?
That's crazy. Huh? What is the limit on that? You know what I mean?
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. I don't know how all of this happened.
Yeah, and that's why that's why I kind of stand on it with the podcast. It's like I want to be, because I feel like even with us talking about the things we talking about, I think there should be able to have a space where people can speak and not necessarily have to have a fear of what's going to come behind that. Now, be smart about it. There's certain things like. You can't say like there's boundaries, you know what I mean? But if it's your truth within your truth, then you should be able to speak about it. I think ideas and opinions are that. We don't all come from the same background. We don't all come from the same environment. We don't all see the world the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that changes also without time. You know what I mean? As our experience grows. So I think there should be some space to even be wrong. Maybe 10 years from now, you believe in something, you say something, and 10 years later, you be like, damn, that's not what it was. You know what I'm saying?
And it be like that.
Yeah.
And that should be okay.
That should be okay. They coming for people, it was some comedy. Something came up it was probably 2 weeks ago, I think. I saw like it was a joke or something that a comedian said from like the 90s or something like that. And I saw some people get mad about that. I'm like, that was do you understand? Like the comedy back then was totally different. Like,
right.
Chevy Chase and Christmas Vacation looking at boobs and shit. Like that shit was common back then. I grew up to that. We grew up to that. You know what I mean?
I just feel like there should just be some grace.
Yeah, like you can't go back
But look. It get complicated.
Okay.
This grace thing. Yeah. And I'm gonna break it down.
Okay. All right.
And you just let me know if this is getting too crazy. Just look at me. Just be like, oh. And
No, dude, no, talk.
All right. So me and my homies, we talk about stuff like this.
Yeah.
And this question came up in my circles.
Okay.
And when I was asked, I had to just keep it funky. Like, well, okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
And you.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Okay.
So with this whole grace and what we just talked about, this whole understanding, hypothetical, you're living in 1830.
Okay.
Sheesh. Indeed.
Yeah.
And
that's already bad.
It's hard, but it's flipped. It's crisscross. This is a society that's flipped.
Yeah.
It's vice versa.
Yeah.
So white folks are slaves in the South.
You know, there's a book about this.
Black folks got all the power and the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So some black brothers come to your crib. You're like, yo, what up, Jerome? You're like, what up, bruh? So look, if we find out you teaching these white brothers and sisters how to read, we're going to kill your whole family.
Yeah.
You, your Italian and German lady, and your child.
Yeah.
We're killing everybody.
Yeah.
In front of it. We're going to do it in broad day. It's going to be a spectacle.
Absolutely.
We're going to be dancing and everything, have a barbecue. We're going to wild out. It's going to be crazy. So don't teach them how to read. Then they leave.
Yeah.
And the question is, you being a black brother right now, through all of what we know, do you risk your family's life to teach these white folks how to read? Let's say you got 3 or 4 of them that's like, yo, I really want to learn like more stuff.
Okay,
like,
so
they really passionate.
Can I ask you this? This is a like a sauce, like, you know, a little extra sauce.
Okay,
like my son is mixed, so are they considering? Because you know, back then
I'm mixed.
Well, okay.
So back then he black.
Exactly. So if it's
is he
reversed,
mixed like he looked like me, or is he mixed like he looked like lighter than
he's
me?
like a perfect mix of me and her. Actually, he's
Could he pass? Could he be like, oh no, that's a white guy?
He's not gonna pass as white. Because Sicilian is.
All right, so if he look black, he black. This is 1830. They looking at.
But I'm saying. So this is the question I'm asking. So back then, white people looked at it as black, right? They were the. So we're in charge. So we looking at that mixed kid as white. Does that count?
The mixed kid is black because he looked black.
Okay, so I can teach him how to read.
You risking your whole family's life. If he look black, he black. So he not your kids. You and your wife and your child is outside because y'all can't let nobody know he your child.
Yeah. Okay. So I get what you're saying. Okay.
Would you teach him how to read if it risks your whole family's life? You too. If it risks, would you teach some white folks?
That's why I asked that.
You don't know these white folks. Would you teach them how to read? Me? And look, I love us.
Yeah.
And I love people. I'm a big believer in grace. But when they asked me that question, I was like, you know what, bro? I gotta really like this guy that's working out, like to risk my family's life. My daughter, my son, my wife, I don't have any kids, but if I did, like, and I'm thinking, what could I do that off of? And you know, you don't even know the big picture yet. 1830, you're thinking like reading. What's his reading?
Yeah, I'm gonna
open up a library. Like, what you want to read? Like, I'll be thinking like, man.
I don't know. I hate to be harsh, but I had white people I love.
But look,
white family for real.
But
I can't say
when you throw some grace into the history, it makes. Like, we were victims of this brutal history.
Oh yeah, did you know?
But yeah, I mean, the more like we did our dirt, like we was slave owners.
Yeah, we were,
and that's
not talked about enough.
Yeah, the Moors was dominant. We was brilliant out here. We was rock. I mean, and then every. The Japanese, the Cambodians had a Holocaust. 2 million of them died. Like there's all of these cultures that have dominated each other, and everybody. So when I look at it from that lens, like I can't be too I gotta show grace.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to redeem themselves.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
true.
can come back.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, anybody that's done me wrong, they can always come back.
I've always been like, you know, with the whole white people and black people dynamic, I've always been, you know, I'd rather you show me who you are. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how I am.
I rock off actions.
So, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
I rock on actions.
I'm the same way. So, I mean, I think either way it go, that allows me to show you grace. If you show me, you know, something that I don't feel like is consistent to deserve grace because you're continuing to do something that should have learned from, then
Can I pour this?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if this would get you.
Nah, because I'm saying cussing and we talk about wild shit on here. Yeah, appreciate thinking about that though.
I didn't know.
We be saying some wild shit on here. I'm working on trying to get the sponsors that allow me to still be me. You know.
Who did you want as a sponsor?
Well, I'm looking at local places. I thought about, you know, reaching out to, you know, having like a little placement with Common House or someone like that. You know what I mean? Just kind of getting the plan together.
I reached out to my homie at Red Bull. They're looking for some.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. I drink Red Bull with vodka, so.
Yeah, shout out to Red Bull. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
You feel me? I have drank plenty of Red Bull in my life, so that would be perfect. Probably got half of it in my blood, but all right, man. I want to take a little break, get a little break in, and we'll hop back in for the second part.
Cool.
Go from there.
Cheers.
So we didn't even get into how you got the name.
Before we continue.
What's up?
Shout out to Tut as well.
Yeah, shout out to Tut. He been on.
Shout out to Tut.
He been on.
Yeah. I know. I saw him on his. Shout out to Tut.
Yeah. Respect.
When we was naming artists, I didn't mention Tut.
Okay. And I think he just dropped the double edition or the extra edition on the new joint.
It's a good brother. Him,
he is,
Chewy,
man. I see them out all the time. Chris. Yeah, Chris, my boy.
They all good fellas.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what's up. Shout out to them. I've been doing a lot of work with them this past year, man. Chewy's that's some good dudes, man.
They all good dudes. Okay, continue.
So the name, Genesis.
Yeah.
So you said, how you come up with it? I've heard you say it, but you said it was from your homie?
Yeah, my homeboy Joe Harris III. Yeah. I don't know where he is. Like,
you said that.
Like he was on his last post was like 2016.
I've got people like that where I was real close with them and then they just disappear for years.
I think he's dead, maybe. I don't know.
I hope not.
He used to, I don't know. He would dibble and dabble, so who knows? I wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah.
But like,
hey man, if you're out there, if you run across this, man, we're looking for you.
Joe, if you hear me, man, hit me up. It's been too long.
Yeah.
I done reached out to his fam.
Yeah.
No one knows. I don't know where he at.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
Well, salute to him for giving you the name. You know what I mean?
He was always he played chess. He was always one step ahead. He was a very, very wise brother.
Yeah.
He might have he was working on this Bitcoin play, so he might have just cashed out on some Bitcoin and slid.
Yeah, he might be smart about that.
Might be just a new number. Yeah, he might be out here somewhere.
Yeah, he might be smart about that.
Might be different.
Good for him if that's the case. If he can get off the grid.
Man, you're talking about Bitcoin like 2015.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You're talking about Bitcoin, it was like $3.
Yeah, oh, wow. Yeah. He probably up.
I don't know.
He made the play right. He up.
Back in the day, he had like 25, 30 Bitcoins, like 2015. And because he used to gamble a lot.
Yeah.
And so, who knows if he
might have.
I don't know if he could see it going this far, but if he could see it going to where it went, he might have.
If he got, you say what he said, 20 or 30?
He had like 20, 30 Bitcoins back in the day.
You see something.
I mean, they're like 30, 40 bands of pop right now. So, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
But if he disappeared around when the Bitcoin was real big. He disappeared a few years
He could have
before
slid.
that. So.
Well, listen, I'm all about finding, theories. I'll just say that. So, hey, my brother, if you out there, you might be under a different name.
Yeah, if
you
you're out
are,
there, man.
salute to you for getting off the grid.
You know
brother.
what? Actually, he don't even got to reach out because he might not want to. He might.
shouldn't.
He might just be like, "Nah, I'm too
just send him
rich
love.
right now.
Just send him love.
Yeah, we're just sending you love.
Yes, sir, brother. This for you. You know what I mean? Because if you can do that, if you can cash out and slide, I would too. I don't blame you.
Do your thing. I mean, if you want to buy a painting, I mean, we can work out.
Yeah. Hey, so what's the highest price painting you sold for? Is it the 89K?
Oh, I don't want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to say.
Okay.
That
means I'll be asking good questions.
Look, what I will say is this. God is great.
Okay, respect.
God is great.
Respect.
I never thought I would make whatever I make selling art. I didn't.
It's amazing, man. Whenever I see your name pop up in these things, even in like some of the exhibits you have, I'm just like, man, I know that is fantastic.
But I'm still an artist, so just being transparent. I mean, there were times that I'd be traveling where I'd have $2.50 in my account, and there was sometimes I have $90,000 in my account. It's just, as an artist, I had to learn how to navigate. It just comes different. It ain't like a 9 to 5. It comes real different.
Yeah.
And so you make some good money. And then it's new to you. You start spending it as you get it, and then you get hit with taxes. I get taxed at almost half, like 50%. So it's like, all right, if you make 90 in that month, but then taxes hit you for 45. Your manager takes 20. So that's another 18. And so you left. At like from that 90, like 32, 30, maybe 28, but you spent like you had 90. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So it starts catching up, and that's why you gotta kind of be around other lions in the industry. I'm crushing it in art. But I had to talk to my homie in logistics who's he's crushing it in finance. He understands how money and taxes work. So when he spends, it softens his tax obligation. When I spend, it's just reckless. It's like it's not helping me tax wise. There's nothing. I can't write it off. I'm not talking business, and I'm buying like fancy wine and eating out. The bill is $5,000. We didn't do any business. I can't write none of it off.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas what they would do is they keep their work uniform on, and they'll go to a restaurant. They talking business for 10 minutes, and they spend the same amount, but now they can write off 40% of it, or you know what I mean, or 30%, or whatever it is. Like, I'm just learning. I'm learning how to move better.
For sure.
In the beginning, I was pretty reckless with it. And
how long did it take you to kind of learn? You know what I mean? Would you say?
Man, it takes a lifetime, bro. I'm still learning. Like, me and my wife just realized, like, oh, snap. So we can pay our kids a salary, like when they're 1, like to do this other. Like, we're still learning stuff just from other couples that in that tax bracket that's learning how to move. So we're babies in this. To be honest, like on paper, I'm rich, but I feel like a farmer that just has like a whole lot of land. Like the farmer with a lot of land, he rich on paper, but like, he's still a regular dude. Like, he's still walking in the overalls. He didn't sell the land, so I mean, he can't buy out this restaurant right now. Like, so, like, I got all of this art that's valuable, but I own it. So, yeah, it's a lot on paper, but until people buy this land, until I liquidate until this art sells, then I'm just a regular guy. And sometimes God looks down and he's like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna make it rain on you this month, man. It's gonna be a blessing. And then people will buy up a bunch of land or a bunch of art. And it's like, oh snap, it's 200 bands. This is crazy. And then it might be like, look, you need to learn some discipline. You need to, I'm gonna let you chill for a little bit. Then I gotta chill in the desert,
I feel like that's where I kind of am. I'm not in the desert, but I'm definitely learning. Because this is the first time as we spoke about the divorce, this is the first time I've been by myself, you know what I mean? As far as like, learning
it
how
can
to
be
handle
hard
finances,
to be by yourself.
handling time, handling finances, handling all of that, you know what I mean? And so like, but I feel it's weird because I don't have any like fear or nothing behind it. I shouldn't, but I feel like more encouragement. It's like I am encouraged that I'm learning, you know what I'm saying? Because it's something I want to be able to pass down to my son, you know what I mean? Especially if
I like how much you talk about your son. I can tell y'all are close.
Oh yeah, we were super close.
That's cool.
Hell yeah.
What people talk about the most, that's where they
That's
heart
my
is.
that's my
It's a beautiful thing.
partner, man.
I dig it, man.
Yeah. I embraced fatherhood. I always felt like I guess I don't know, it's always been kind of a natural thing, but now that I have the story that I have as far as knowing my background with my father, even more so, you know what I mean? Like I invest in that, you know what I'm saying? And I always have a hard time when I hear people that don't. And because I feel like it's just a powerful thing, you know what I mean? There's not so many people that get a chance to be a father. There are a lot of people that do, but some people don't.
You're right.
And
I'm not a dad yet.
Oh man.
No, I can't wait to be.
I hope you are.
I mean, I kind of like, part of me is like, I can't wait to be. But then there's another part of me that's like, nah. Not yet.
Not yet. Why not? You still feel like why not?
I think I'll just be riding sometimes, and then something else will pull up next to me, and I'll be like, nah, not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
All right, I need to make a few plays. Right? I'll go to one of my homies' crib, and we talking some ideas. And he's like, no, you gotta come to the West Wing. I'm like, the West Wing? What? He's like, yeah, come on, we'll take a car, and then we'll go to the other side of the house. I'll be like, all right, I need to wait. I don't want to wait. But then I see my homies with kids and they building relationships right now. Like we got life right now. Who knows what kind of crazy stuff can go down on between this and like me trying to get to play, right now they building some like glorious, like beautiful moments with their kids. And even the parents that went through the pandemic, that was kind of beautiful that you went through something so crazy with your child. It's like in the movies. And so I'm missing movie like bonding with, you know what I mean? I'm thinking like, damn, maybe I need to just go ahead and, I don't know. What am I waiting on? Why am I like trying to make this perfect
I don't think
situation?
I don't think there's ever time. I feel like I got asked this, even by my ex before we had him, and like just like did I have ever thought about an age or like did I ever think about it? And I don't think there's ever really a time. You know what I mean?
No, there's not a time.
It's not like you're gonna you could be at the top of the top and be fully good still, and you will still have like
it ain't a time.
It ain't a time. Yeah,
I'm just being silly. I think I might just be scared. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Well, listen, I was afraid when it was going on, but I just look at it as like you're learning. There's not a guide.
Can I ask you a difficult question?
What's up?
All right, hypothetical.
Okay.
Your son cut his hand opening a Kool-Aid packet. For some reason, it was a sharp Kool-Aid packet. It cut him. Went to the doctor. They took his blood. You realize it's not your child. Do you stay and say, nah, man, it's my son. I don't care what the DNA say? or do you say
at this
well,
point,
you know what? All right. I mean, we can still be friends. I like you. You cool. We homies, but you're not my son, bro. So
Nah, because my dad didn't do that to me. I didn't know about my dad until
I
they told me.
remember. You told me. I
25.
remember.
So I asked my mom one time when I was 12, and she denied it, and I never asked again. So like, cause I started noticing I was taller than him, I'm darker skin, and all this shit, right? So like, so I never asked again. So if I was put in that very same situation, especially now, like I'm well into his life, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't tell him, but there's no really denial. He's my son. He's definitely I can't deny that.
So either way, you would.
But I wouldn't. Nah, not at this point. Like, I feel like you get put into people's lives for that role doesn't necessarily mean by blood. You know what I mean? And unless that that man that found out that he is a father was like, well, I want to be a part of that child's life, then I'd be like, okay. Right. But if that's not the case, then yeah, I mean, you get put in people's lives for a reason, and that role is not necessarily blood tied.
No, that's commendable, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
I think I'd do the same thing.
Yeah,
I think I mean 6 years. That's kind of a long time building.
Yeah, I've already built a relationship.
His partners right now I done known less than 6 years that I trust. You know what I mean? Like, so for sure, I'd do it.
Yeah, and he's very routine too. Like if I break, that would be a significant. We are very close.
Look, this make it more complicated. Let's say you paying $700 a month in child support. Do you keep the payments going, or do you say, no, I'm always be here? We ain't gotta keep the payments going. Like, come on.
Yeah, we gotta cut. Yeah,
I feel like we gotta cut the payments.
Yeah,
that's just how I feel.
Yeah,
you feel the same way. Okay. Yeah,
you're right.
We gonna have to cut them payments.
That's an interesting perspective.
All right. Hey, right. Not to say I don't gotta be here, but.
Yeah, but you're right.
Like, this is bonus. Hey, this is bonus, my guy. Like, I want to be here, but this is bonus too, a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
That's kind of, it sound messed up, but,
Yeah, you're
right.
All right. Yeah.
Yo, shout out to the kids, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So, well, shoot. Let's see. What else I want to ask you? I had some big questions to ask you. You work with like.
Yeah, I'm a big kid, bro. A lot of people will be like, man, like he's super deep, like he like a wise.
Yeah.
Like, and if I'm coming from a God place, I feel deep. Yeah. But me, like, just me coming out, like 85% of me, I'm a big kid, man. I'm mostly silly. Yeah. I think if I wasn't painting, I'd probably be a comedian.
You think so?
A comedian at a bar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I didn't make it to the comic stage, but I'm funny, but I'm bartending. Yeah, like I probably would be a bartender.
I think comedy comes in different ways. I don't, I like to think that I'm funny, but I can never do like a scripted stand-up.
You got any jokes on you?
Nah, see, I don't carry jokes like that. I'm more like.
So you're not like, yo, I've been working on this.
Yeah,
like, knock, my dude.
Nah. I'm more like a pick up on the environment type joke, or like say silly things or act silly. You know what I mean? That kind
you don't got one loaded.
I'm like Jim Carrey. You know how Jim Carrey's not like that's one of my.
Jim is a beast.
He's not a stand-up though. His is within
become like a sage now. Yeah. Like he's like saying wise, like, nah, man, you got
it.
Like, yo, Jim, that was heavy.
Man. Yeah, he has.
He's not. Yeah, Jim is. Yeah, he went through it.
Yeah, he did.
He different.
He definitely different. I think Jim his birthday just passed. Actually, shout out to Jim Carrey.
Yeah, shout out to Jim.
He's a big. That's one of the. Obviously, black people have their black comedians. I have my list, but. As far as like
Jim
white,
as far as like black in
he do.
Somewhere
he do. It's in there.
There's a nigga.
And I think I'm bit like the Mask. Like that was a big one for me. Like the Mask, Liar.
Is there any comedians that you wish didn't exist? Like if you could, that I don't know the guy's
wish that
name,
I didn't exist.
But you know the guy that was Snap and they just turn into charcoal ashes. They turn into just
who's
they
it?
just the guy he would snap on the marble thing, and the people would be like, "Oh," and they just fall away, and they turn into ashes. You know what I'm talking about?
Nah,
What?
No,
It was, you know what I'm talking about. Thanos.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
that.
Thanos. Yeah, yeah.
All
I'm
right.
tripping.
You could
I've been
snap,
drinking too.
and this
And that's
comedian would vanish. You didn't kill him. They just kind of unexisted. They went back in time before they was born.
Damn, that's tough.
Just a comedian.
Remove
you don't
completely?
rock with. You just remove this comedian.
I don't think that
they don't add anything to anybody. I'm gonna say a name to get it started. I don't think it's gonna be popular what I say, but I'm just gonna say it.
Ooh.
Let me think this through before I say it. Hold on. This is a popular person. I'm not gonna say their name because
you built it up.
I know.
I'm trying to think. I'll probably say. I mean, I don't want to say this because it's not necessarily like I don't like him, but I just
see. That's how I feel. It's not that I don't like the person. It's just like I just don't.
He's not gonna be liked either when I say it, but Seinfeld,
I just don't laugh when they do anything.
Jerry Seinfeld is not
okay. I'm disappointed. I like Seinfeld. Seinfeld's that guy. This isn't going to be a popular thing that I'm going to say.
Who?
Steve Harvey.
Nah, that's a good one. He does.
You think so? Yeah. Okay, I'm glad.
I never thought Steve Harvey was funny.
never really.
And now that this came out, he was stealing jokes and shit. Like
even before that, like I
that makes it worse. He was stealing jokes and still couldn't deliver them.
Now I like him as he seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I would smoke, cigar, whatever. Like he seems like a cool guy. Nothing against him as a guy.
You did say you snap and get him out of here, though. He might not.
Man, I'd get him out of here.
He might not smoke a cigar with you. Hey, but listen, Steve. You know you've done some good things. Steve.
No, Steve.
But I feel like I agree. He's not been funny to me.
Not stand up.
Not stand up. And not really. He's had some good movie roles. Like what was the one with Nick Cannon? Movies? Yeah, the one with Nick Cannon. He was the dad. Love Don't Cost a Thing. He was the dad. He does.
Oh, do he?
Yes, he does. He played dad, and he's played. Yeah, he ain't played much in movies though. He only been like 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah, nah, I don't.
That's crazy.
I can't
I feel you. Yeah, and that's why he can't. And Bernie's in mine. That's one of mine. Bernie's it's probably Dave and then Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie's a beat. Yeah, Dave is in everybody's top 3.
Yeah. Dave, Bernie.
Yeah.
For me, and then I gotta figure out the third. I'll probably say Pryor, but I gotta really think about that.
Pryor is my number 1.
I can see that.
Richard Pryor, and then Chappelle.
Yeah.
And then
Pryor. It's crazy how Richard Pryor has lasted time. Like you can go watch his stuff now and it be
man. I hear Richard Pryor and all these niggas.
Yes.
Like I hear him in Chappelle. I hear him in everybody.
Yeah.
Richard was the blueprint.
Yeah.
Because no one else, like Richard would talk about your arm as if it was its own individual.
Mm-hmm.
And your arm has its own personality.
Yeah.
And your arm decided, nah, I'm not going to open this door today. Like, no other comedians were doing that.
Yeah.
He was a poet with comedy.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. So what's ahead, man? When's the restaurant opening?
Restaurant opened up March 24th.
Ooh, that's 2 days from my birthday.
There we go. I knew you was all right. Yeah. March 24th. If we can get it open sooner, I mean, we'll let you know, but should be latest March 24th.
It's named Home, right?
Home, Home. The goal is to open up like 7 of them across the country.
Okay.
The first one had to be in Chattanooga.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's the vibe gonna be like in there?
So the chefs, like I said, from the Bay Area, so it's gonna be like San Francisco with Southern twist, like food wise. Mm-hmm. The vibe is gonna feel like if Soho House in Berlin had a child with like a Parisian bar and a British pub and a Southern hole in the wall. It's gonna be fly.
Mm-hmm.
But you feel comfortable wearing sweats in there. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely gonna be upscale, like fly. I don't feel like it was too much black-owned fly, like restaurants in
Yeah, for
Tennessee,
sure.
and so this is gonna change that.
For sure.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited, man.
gonna
I'm
be a
pulling up,
vibe.
man. Yeah, when it opens, I'm coming.
Yeah, my wife's opening up a museum. I don't know where she's gonna
Oh,
put it,
yeah?
but shout out to her museum. I'm not gonna say the name. She's very protective over
Okay.
her.
When's she opening it?
Should be in the next 6 to 18 months. We got to raise quite a bit of money for it, but
Okay.
yeah, shout out to Krenisha Whiteside McGee on that.
Salute, brother.
I have to show my
Salute.
wife love
Absolutely,
wherever
bro.
I'm at. You know
Hey,
what I'm saying?
salute that. I definitely won't discourage that, my brother. Well, shoot, man. Thank you for coming on, like I said, and I'm looking forward to continue to working with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
This is a nice little episode for the podcast, man. I've had a nice little run of episodes, man. So,
yeah. No,
so it's good to have you on. It's good to have you on and give your perspective on life and speak to the power that, I think it's cool to see, like, I know you say you didn't grow up in chat, but you definitely embrace chat as you've moved back.
I'm chat, man, through and through.
So, I that's part of the reason why I'm kind of like, I focus on that. Not to say focus on that, but I feel like Chattanooga it's harder the city is its arts. You know what I mean? And we have so many greats from here. You're one of them. There's so many, and it's not even just like I talk about this all the time. Like when people like necessarily are influencing spaces outside of Chattanooga, they're not even just like average. They're not like, oh yeah, I've heard of him. They're like, they do major things. They do beautiful things. They make a name. So I see that in the heart of the city. So it's cool for you to be embracing that and be kind of like one of the faces for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
we all in it, man.
Absolutely.
Love.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Y'all make sure again, subscribe, like, comment, share. Eli my podcast. Much love. We'll see y'all next time.